and welcome to the start of the depot build series. This will kind of replace my monthly updates for a while because most of my work will be focused on the depot area. In this part 1 we have the hard standing and some fuel tank construction. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you have any questions on what I'm doing on the TMD or any suggestions that you might want to add in for future parts, then please do get in touch. The first job I'm focusing on with the depot is the hard standing area. I've positioned it here, but prior to getting the actual finished ones cut, I mocked it up using paper to get the actual layout of the hard standing area that I wanted, and then I mocked it out of 2mm card, and then I've gone and got this 2mm MDF all cut and scribed into the slabs. The slabs are 65 by 48, and that matches the size on the Scale Model Scenery hard standing textured paper. So you could cover it in that if you wish, or as I'm going to do, I'm going to paint it and then weather it with an airbrush. If I take the shed away, you'll see the area clearly. Now, I've got the central part running all the way through, and then the two edges. In the middle, I've got, I think it's a 14.5mm wide strip of the MDF. However, it won't finish up like that because underneath that I've actually got the inspection pits, which are to be, really given a good griming up. So these will be cut at each end to cover the sleepers but still expose both of the inspection pits. Okay, here's the hard standing now in place. It's been primed, pre-shaded and then painted, and some weathering on the areas around about the joints. How I did this was simple grey primer. I then gave it a coat of Precision Paints weathered concrete. I then ran Tamiya acrylic black around all the the join areas. You can probably see the darker areas there. And then what I did is I went back over it to blend in the kind of starkness of the black with the weathered concrete paint again. This is an enamel. Once that had dried, I went in with some browns and lighter greys just to kind of feather off the colours and give this impression of kind of grime in different places. I then also used paint at quite a low pressure on the airbrush to give a kind of spattering effect, to give it more of a random grainy concrete look. It might not be picked out quite so well on the camera there, but it certainly is a speckled kind of, you know, appearance. Okay, I'll now put the depot building back onto the area which will cover most of the hard standing. See if I roughly position it there. That's what you'll see. What I'll do once the hard standing's in place and the ballast is all down, I'll then go in with the airbrush with, you know, oily spills and stuff like that, really to blend the hard standing into the ballast around about it. So it's not a finished article with regard to mucking up and weathering down. But I think actually, considering I've done very little weathering of areas before, I'm quite pleased with this. Thanks to Andy Hudson of the Warley Club, who was pretty instrumental in giving me advice on how to do pre-shading with the airbrush, and has also introduced me to Tamiya acrylics as well. Not quite a 100% acrylic convert yet, I still like my enamels, but it certainly opened a whole new world to me regarding airbrushing, and certainly speeding up the process with the quicker drying acrylics. So thanks for that, Andy. Another area I focused on this month is the vertical fuel storage. There will be more than one fuel storage facility at the TMD. This one is at the TMD office end, which is the left hand end as you look at it. It's been made from a Nightwing kit, which I assembled, primed, covered in rust tones using Humbrol matte coat and Humbrol weathering powders. The technique I used for this was used at my girder bridge, which is the link at the top of the screen if you want to see how I did it. I then stippled some Maskol on using some Woodland Scenics polyfibre, painted it in Tamiya acrylics, and basically then just rubbed off the Maskol to reveal the rust. And you'll notice there I've got some, it's along the joins, if you like, of the kit. The kit comes in different segments and there's joins there, and that's where the rust would have started, because you've got an edge there, probably a thin band or a weld, and that's where the rusting, the water will lay on the join and obviously start to break the surface of the paint down. To get the streaking effect that I've employed, I simply used enamel thinners to reactivate the matte coat and the powders, and then you can streak without damaging the acrylic finish. The mock-up tray will be done using MDF and brick embossed plastic. I've got all the pipe work lying in there as well, which is a Nightwing pipe kit. I've just mocked up all these pipes from the separate parts to join the tanks together and have access pipes to the area. So I'm still working on that just now. That'll be finished by the end of March hopefully, and that'll sit, as I say, just back there to get road access, and the pipes would run underground to the fueling point. Apart from the hard standing area that I've obviously been focusing on this month, I've been looking at mocking up the office TMD and this is what it will be like at the, get it right now, the west end of the depot itself. It's kind of a offset T shape. It will be connected as one. I've just mocked them up. I don't usually do that with buildings and parts of the layout, but I was really struggling to see it just by using templates on the ground, so I quickly mocked up a card one with some glue from a glue gun, and I'm quite happy with that. I'm in the process of designing the sides now of MDF. I've got some laser cut windows and accessories to make this a bespoke item, so hopefully it'll do the depot justice. That'll be taking shape in the next 1 to 2 months. It's going to be quite an in-depth job for me. The windows I'm using for my TMD office have been laser cut by York Model Making. Kind of an adaptation of a design I had with them years ago. These ones have got a lower, middle and top kind of panel that will be exposed and painted a different colour to the windows. Kind of like a 1960s, 70s prefabricated build. Took inspiration from a few depot buildings actually, even one at Haymarket. When I saw a photograph I thought, well, that'll suit my depot, so that's the basis of what I'm doing for my windows. When you start thinking to yourself, wait a minute, I've got decent windows now, I have to put interiors in, internal walls, doors, stairwells, lights, office furniture, even down to the carpets on the floor. So you think, wait a minute, I need some blinds as well. So I said to Scale Model Scenery, I was about coming up with some blinds for me. So Justin went away as he does, and he came up with this fantastic product here for me. We've got fully closed, raised, partially raised, and even these kind of wonky, kind of angled ones there as well. And you can see through them to a certain degree, so you can, some light will come out. It's not totally a blackout. And these are now on general sale, and that's the pack there, LX221-00. You get 33 in a pack. Great product. The link to those at the bottom of the screen in the description underneath. And as I said, they'll be used on this building and possibly in my town scene in the future. Something I got at Model Rail Scotland on the back of a recommendation from Mike of Hope Park Junction are these Power Bus Suppressor Terminator units, and you get 2 in a pack, and basically what they do is you fit them to the end of your bus wires. So in the case of Dean Park, I've got 2 bus wires running around the lower section under the main baseboard, and they don't meet again in a full loop. You shouldn't have that, so they terminate separately. So I'll put one suppressor here and one suppressor there. Obviously you've got the plus and the negative wires, the red and the black, and this just stops any spikes that you may get when a short circuit occurs. That has a knock-on effect to some decoders. I think that might be the reason why I've gone through 2 or 3 decoders on my Heljan Class 26, and I've noticed my HST TTS sound sometimes plays up. Now, the trains that go across my diamond crossings, if it's got Hornby wheels, tend to give a momentary short, and you don't even notice it unless there's a sound loco on the layout. It's a momentary blip in the sound. So these will stop any damage getting to any of the decoders through the spikes, and obviously I've resolved the problem with the diamond crossings as well. But this is just a kind of belt and braces, and they're under a tenner, and if you blow one decoder, that's 15 quid, so it's value for money and a good investment. If you remember in my last update, I ran a little competition to name the tagline for my YouTube channel, and I got a lot of entries, a lot of good entries. And what I've done is I've tried to narrow it down, and on the following screen are the ones that are shortlisted for being named as my tagline. I had to narrow it down, so I narrowed it down to 3, and I'll do 3, 2, 1 in reverse order. So third was Where Modelling Becomes Reality, and that was from Steve Smith. Second was The Journey Starts Here, and that was from Richard Gregory. But the winner is from the 163 Air Cadet Squadron, and their phrase was driven by detail. And that really kind of encapsulates Dean Park. I tried to put a lot of detail into my layout, and you know, that was quite a fitting tagline. So congratulations to 163 Squadron, you have now chosen the tagline for Dean Park Station: driven by detail. The visiting loco at Dean Park this month is a 45, and it's 45120, and it's a split head cord domino, which is really attractive. This is on loan from Hope Park Junction, and just going to test it out and see how it runs on the layout. Might add one to my layout permanently. It's a Bachmann product. It's fine. I'm not really up to speed on the peaks, but looking at it, it's got pretty good detail. I'm not saying another manufacturer couldn't do better, but it certainly is a good runner from the Bachmann range. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. My layout's pretty much based on the ScotRail region. If you'd like someone from the network Southeast region, however, click on Richard from Everard Junction. The link for his videos are on the screen. He's undergoing a major rebuild of his layout, and he's now started some scenic work. So if you'd like to see what he's up to, check it out. Cheers just now.